She walked into court, smiled at the jury, and laughed at the photos of the children she had beaten to death. But what no one knew yet was how long she'd been planning it. Psychiatry recognizes a condition called Adèle Syndrome, named after the daughter of Victor Hugo. Adèle Hugo spent decades pursuing a man who did not return her love, eventually destroying his career and her own sanity. She spent 43 years in an asylum. The syndrome describes an obsessive fixation that dissolves a person's ability to control their emotions. Most sufferers respond to treatment, but in rare cases the obsession crosses into criminal territory. In 2008, a crime in Sweden demonstrated how lethal such a fixation could become, shaking the entire country and nearly escaping justice before the truth was exposed inside a courtroom. Emma Jangstig was born in Stockholm in 1985 and raised in a modest family alongside her older sister, Katarina. At 19, she married her high school sweetheart, Nicholas, and by 20, she had given birth to a son named Max. A daughter, Saga, followed 18 months later. The young marriage crumbled under the pressure of constant arguments, and the couple separated. Custody disputes turned bitter when Emma entered a new relationship and moved with the children to the small town of Arsta, roughly 150 kilometers from Stockholm. Nicholas fought back and threats were reported to the police, but no peaceful resolution was ever reached. Emma's new partner was Torgny Hellberg, a steady and accepting man she had met online. He welcomed her children as his own, and they moved into a larger house with plans to marry in the summer of 2008. On the morning of March 17th, Torgny left for work and Emma stayed home with 3-year-old Max and 1.5-year-old Saga. Throughout the day, she managed household chores and chatted online with Katarina, discussing a gift for their parents. Shortly after 6:30, Torgny phoned to say he would be late. Emma fed the children and resumed typing. At exactly 7 minutes past 7, her message to Katarina stopped mid-word. Katarina watched the screen, unease tightening in her chest. She called Emma's phone, but it rang out. Then she dialed Torgny, who was already approaching the house. He promised to check on everything and have Emma call back. When he arrived, the front door stood unlocked. Inside, a mess greeted him, and then he noticed dark stains spreading across the floor. At first, he thought the crumpled shape in the hallway was a doll. Then he realized it was Saga, her head struck beyond recognition. Nearby lay Max with a shattered skull, and Emma lay face down in blood, her features destroyed. With trembling hands, Torgny phoned for help. As he spoke, Emma let out a long, hollow groan. Paramedics rushed all 3 victims to hospital, but the window of attack had been terrifyingly short. The last message was at 7:07 p.m., and Torgny's emergency call came at 7:20 p.m. The weapon, a blunt object consistent with a hammer, was missing from the scene. Doctors placed Emma in an induced coma, while Max and Saga fought for life, their brain injuries catastrophic. The children did not survive. Forensic investigators sifted through trampled shoe prints, knowing the attacker had worn gloves and taken the weapon. Torgny was questioned first, but his alibi was solid. Security cameras had recorded him walking home at the exact time of the killings. Attention then shifted to Nicholas, whose custody battle had grown hostile, yet his alibi placed him 120 miles away on a business trip. With both men cleared, a neighbor provided a new direction. She had seen a short, slight figure in black, hood pulled low, walking near the house around 5 o'clock. A nearby shop camera captured the same figure. When detectives showed the footage to Torgny, his face went pale. He recognized the shape as his ex-girlfriend, Christina Schurer. Christina Schurer was born in Germany in 1977. Her father's early abandonment left a lasting mark on her personality. She studied archaeology, traveled widely, and met Torgny in Crete during the summer of 2006. Their week-long holiday romance became an obsession for her once he returned to Sweden. She visited him uninvited, refused to accept their breakup, and staged a suicide attempt that led to a month of psychiatric care. After her release, she moved to Sweden and told Torgny a staggering lie. She had given birth to his son and placed the child in foster care. The story collapsed when Torgny and Emma demanded proof. Christina had fled to Germany the day after the murders, but Swedish and German authorities coordinated her arrest. At her apartment, detectives discovered that a hammer was missing from her roommate's toolbox. Her laptop contained folders filled with Torgny's photographs, alongside stolen images of Emma, Max, and Saga, each annotated with threats. Her search history revealed queries about committing murder without leaving evidence. Notes on the laptop detailed the family schedules and the layout of the house. Bus station cameras captured her making 3 reconnaissance trips to Arsta in the days before the attack. Emma woke from the coma with no memory of the horror. She repeatedly asked about her children, and each time the devastating news had to be given anew because her mind erased it. Weeks later, taken back to the house, the memories broke through: the knock, the dark hooded figure, and the sudden blow. At the trial, Christina smiled and waved at the gallery, then laughed when shown photographs of the victims. Psychiatric examination declared her fully sane. She had derived pleasure from what she had done. The jury convicted her of double murder and attempted murder, sentencing her to life without release. Emma's recovery stretched over years. Torgny never left her side. They married in 2010 and later had 2 children together. The family honors the memory of Max and Saga, ensuring they are never forgotten. Christina's false claim of a child was never substantiated. It was a fabrication from start to finish. The case remains one of the darkest examples of erotomania ever recorded. It demonstrates how an obsession, if left unchecked, can escalate from persistent calls to the slaughter of innocence. The line between infatuation and annihilation had been crossed with chilling calculation.
What do you think drives a mind like Christina Schurer's? Pure obsession, calculated evil, or something in between? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more cases where psychology meets true crime, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support keeps these stories coming. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.